What is up, guys? Team Feels here with another deck profile, and today we're going to be taking a look at my pure Burning Abyss deck list. I'm not playing, I have all the cards for like PK Fire. I just don't like how the deck plays. I'm glad that I have everything for it, but I personally, I tested it and I really don't like how it plays out, so I opted to post basically an updated Burning Abyss list just to show you guys what I'm playing, what I think about the deck, and some possible changes that you can make if you want to play the list similar to mine but slightly differently. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into this video and start with the BA lineup. Obviously, we're going to play triple Farfa. It's the only BA that I play 3 of. I play a lot of 2-ofs. I think this is the only one that you really need 3 of for right now. When the ban list comes around, that could change. Hopefully, we're getting Graf and Seer back to 3. I think it's a strong possibility, which is really cool. Then we have double Skarm. I don't think you need more than 2 Skarm. To complement that, we have the double Seer and double Graf, which I also think is standard in a pure BA list. If you're playing PK, you'd only be playing the Seers and the Grafs, and that's all that you'd be playing. Maybe a Libic if you felt like it, but those are the multiples for the 1-ofs. We have the 1 Barbar, we have the 1 Calcab, the 1 Libic, and the 1 Alec. I don't play the Rubik. I didn't feel like playing the Needle Fiber engine in this list, so I opted just to stick with these 4 BAs. I think that's 13 BAs in total, which is more than enough. Triple Tour Guide, you have to play this in the pure list, even though like I don't think it's that great, to be honest. I'd rather just play more BA cards and go off with those, because if this could sit with like an Imperm or something, or a Veiler or an Ash, it's like, okay, now you kind of have to just hope that you have back row to set, which is extremely unfortunate, but you gotta play the Tour Guide still, even though you don't like to. Double Rhino Warrior. Rhino Warrior is crazy. It is technically another BA card, which is insane. The fact that it lets you dump and start your combos is also really cool. So Rhino Warrior is fully worth it. Then I do play the 1 Backjack. Seeing we're playing pure, you want to be able to get access to some more traps in your deck, and the Backjack does help get you there, alongside Beatrice and other cards that we play. Then some hand traps. We have triple Ash. This is pretty darn standard, not gonna lie. It's probably the most universal hand trap that you can play. If you don't have a playset already, you should probably have a playset for any deck that you're playing for the most part. Then the tacky one is triple DD Crow. This is pretty neat, not gonna lie. I think that this is kind of cool. Playing the DD Crows, I think that overall, because the meta is so graveyard heavy, that a card like this definitely has a large impact on certain decks. So it can hurt the virtual world deck a lot if you can banish the spell or the trap, and slow them down from comboing off, which is also really cool. You can hurt Dino a lot by banishing a Miscellaneous Saurus. You can hurt a lot of other decks. I like to, like against Infernoble, this card is actually half decent, because when they go to Fossil, Dig, you can possibly bait a negation with the Fossil Dig, which is super crazy. You could also banish whatever they're going to bring back off of the Metal Marcher, which is most likely going to be Gemba, and then their combo is significantly slowed down from there too. So DD Crow has a place against a lot of decks. Also gets invoked when they activate Invocation. You banish the Alistair, and then your opponent just cries, basically. Those are all the monsters that are moving out of the spells. Just 1 Foolish Burial and 1 Call by the Grave. I don't think that you need to play a lot of spells in this deck, to be honest. I don't want to play Desires or anything else. So I just opted to stick to the 2 cards that I think are decent. Moving on to the trap lineup, though. It's a decent trap lineup. I think it's 13 cards. So we're playing 3 Imperms, so technically another hand trap, but also really good as back row in this deck, seeing that it is a trap-heavy deck. I really like the Imperm. Super important to be playing this card, and playing 9 hand traps is also good, because you're almost guaranteeing yourself seeing 1, which is pretty significant in this meta. Then 3 Dynamiscus. This is just, it's honestly probably the best card that's a trap card for Burning Abyss, if I'm being realistic. This card is super crazy, the fact that it's a monster, in addition to it being, you know, that banish off field, and you can trigger a Burning Abyss card in your hand as well, which is crazy. So especially like Farfa, because if you have this set and a Farfa in hand, you're going to get rid of 2 cards, which in most cases is enough to stop your opponent from comboing in most decks. But then we have 3 Ice Dragon's Prison. This card is insane, absolutely nuts. Like I said, we're in a graveyard heavy format. This card just gets you there. It does exactly what you need it to do. And I know today I went to locals. I didn't do that well today in locals. I played Inferno Knights, and I honestly can say that I hate playing Inferno Knights. I will probably never touch the deck again. I hated playing it the entire time. I was so bored playing it. And someone played this card against me, and I still managed to win. I still managed to take the round. But I really, really think that this card is super strong against all the meta, which is amazing. Then I play 2 Fiend Griefing as well, more graveyard removal, which is, like I said, something that you're going to have to work around and deal with. And the fact that you can dump a Fiend card from your deck to the graveyard, not just a Burning Abyss, a Fiend card, which could be your Backjack, it could be a Rhino Warrior. So you can do a lot of deck thinning with this, which is also pretty cool. And then double Trap Trick, just because we're playing a lot of trap cards. That should be something that makes a lot of sense, playing the trap tricks for that reason. Being able to search your deck for whatever trap card you want is pretty cool. Moving on to the extra deck now. You'll probably know, you definitely noticed that I'm not playing the Dragoons package. I thought it was great, but I just didn't like drawing the cards for the package, so I opted to cut it and test something a little different. So I'm testing to see how this goes, and then we'll progress from there. But in the extra deck, I do play Triple Dante. This is actually pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. So one of the cool interactions that I tell a lot of people too is that, you know, this deck doesn't have a terrible Dogmatica matchup, because when they use Maximus, you just send double Dante and then you add both of them back. So you don't have to like toss cards like Entis in here to counteract it. You just send 2 Dante and then you keep playing, which is pretty crazy. But Triple Dante in Pure is definitely something that is a little more standard than in like a PK list. Then I do play the 1 Levier, the Sea Dragon. I think that because you have cards like Barbar and Backjack, that this card is actually really good. The fact that you can recur your Backjack multiple turns in a row is absolutely crazy. This card is fully worth playing, definitely worth it. And we play the 1 Beatrice. I really just love playing Beatrice. That's another reason that I didn't want to play the PK list, is because like I wanted to play Beatrice and you don't play it in the PK list. So I really wanted to play Pure for that reason too. Then we play 1 Zeus. This shouldn't need any explanation. It's Zeus. If you're playing in the meta right now, you got to know what that card does. We play 1 Pilgrim. This is just here for if your Beatrice gets destroyed, you can summon this. It does actually come up semi-frequently. People typically, when you play against them with Burning Abyss, aren't going to remember what most of the deck does. So they just destroy your Beatrice, not thinking that you're going to summon something. So you can summon this, you can discard a Seer, draw a card, and then your Seer can summon your regular Dante back from the graveyard, which is going to put 2 more bodies on board. And that's definitely something that's going to slow your opponent down a little bit. So Pilgrim's really cool. For Link Monsters, we have 1 Gravity Controller. This card is super sweet if you can't like do your standard combo and you just have to make a Dante. You make it in an extra monster zone, you make the Gravity Controller with the Dante coming back off of Seer, and then whatever you add back to hand off Dante gets discarded. You make a Beatrice, and then you have Gravity Controller and Beatrice on board, which is pretty cool. For the Link 2s, we have a Cherubini and a Masquerena. This is like your combo starters. It's what you wanna get to on your first turn. Then we have the Nightmare package. This is really good in Burning Abyss, because being able to discard cards and gain advantage off of it, in my opinion, is just nuts. Like it's ridiculously good. So I love playing this engine. Typically speaking, I'll make the unicorn first and then make one of these under it, depending on what the situation is, and just play from there. And the deck just functions on its own. Then Link Force, 1 Avermax, and 1 Access Code. So typically speaking, you end on like a Cherubini and a Masquerena, and then you use the Masquerena to make your Avermax. Then it can't be destroyed by card effect, and it obviously can't be targeted either, which is really sweet. Then the Access Code is just there as your like game winner. It also outs Dragoon. They could do 1 negation, and then you can summon this, target your Nightmare Unicorn, and then he's at 53, which is pretty important. That is the extra deck, though. We will move on to the side deck. Side deck, I do play Triple Gam Seal. I think that this card is very, very strong. More so than people give credit for. I'm not like an excessively large advocate of kaijus for some decks, but I think in Burning Abyss it can work. I'm contemplating honestly doing a Burning Abyss kaiju deck, because that was, believe it or not, if people don't remember historically, Burning Abyss kaiju is actually a deck that was fairly popular. So I'm contemplating that, but for right now we're just gonna side deck them. And then we play the 1 Pankratops. Everyone knows my explanation for this by now. Card's just too good. Those are all the monsters that we side, though. Then for the spells that we side, 3 Dark Ruler, we gotta shut off those boards. We can't let people combo off and then negate every single card that we play. That's definitely not the plan. So we play the Dark Ruler for that reason. Then I have 3 Twister and 1 Feather Duster. This is, in my opinion, really great. I thought about playing Lightning Storms, didn't want to play them. I wanted to have something that lets me discard cards from my hand, and Twin Twisters definitely does that. And Feather Duster is just, it's Feather Duster. It's great back row removal, really. Then the trap cards, the techie card of the deck, Dimensional Barrier. This is something that I think more people should be playing who are playing like control-based decks. Being able to stop your combo opponent from playing is super important. It hurts Virtual World, it hurts Infernoble, it hurts Dragon Link a little bit too, because they can't go into their synchro plays. It hurts Zodiac. Like, this card absolutely destroys Zodiac, which is insane, absolutely insane. So keep in mind that, you know, that is something that's really important. I think this card is definitely going to be a pretty good meta contender in the near future, if not current current point in time. Then last card that we side, I struggled to find a card to side. I went with Imperial Order. I really like this, to be honest. I think that we are in a meta that plays a decent amount of spell cards. And I think that Imperial Order helps counter that. And I think that because we're playing a trap-heavy deck, it's just something that's really good to have. You never know what you're going to bump into, but the Imperial Order definitely does a whole lot for you. I'm a huge advocate of this card, to be perfectly fair. And because we play such a low spell count, it's okay to be playing this. It doesn't hurt us at all, which is even better. But that is the side deck, and that basically concludes the entirety of the Burning Abyss deck profile. It's an updated list from the last time that I showcased the deck off, which was probably a couple months ago, to be honest. Whenever the ban list hit, I think that was one of the last times that I did a Burning Abyss list. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I was looking at the analytics on most of my videos, and I was finding that most of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. It is thoroughly appreciated. And like I said, if you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. And for right now, this is Team Yugi Feels signing out.